How to break bad money habits. Hey there, I'm Michael Silva and you are watching Figuring Out Money. On my series, I talk about three main topics: how we can get money, how we can keep money, and how we can grow our wealth over time. And if this type of content interests you, I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button right now. I'll give you 3 seconds. I found an interesting article on Psychology Today about how to break bad habits. It was written by Bob Taibbi. He is the author of 11 books. He's written over 300 articles, and he provides training nationally and internationally. This man has just a wealth full of knowledge, and I want to share with you what I learned today, but tie it into how to break bad money habits. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's show. All right, so how do we break bad money habits? There's 9 steps in this process. So if you don't have a notepad already, bring it out because it's important to take notes. Step 1 to breaking bad money habits is to define what the habit is. That's the easiest step. So for me and my wife specifically, our bad money habit is spending too much money eating out. So when we go to restaurants, we literally swipe that card for just about anything. Like if it's a sushi restaurant, oh boy, forget about it. We're drinking 2 beers apiece. We literally eat 3 appetizers, and sometimes that's not even enough, along with like 2 rolls. Like oh gosh, we spend way too much money eating out at restaurants. And the thing is, at the end of the month, we like look at the credit card statement, and we're like, holy cow, what do we spend all this money on? So yeah, my bad money habit, my wife's bad money habit, we're a unit, right, is spending too much money at restaurants. And that's the one that I want to change. So what's yours? Write it down. So now that we know what the habit is, step 2 is defining the behavior that it is that you want to change. This is going to require some thought. You're going to have to think specifically on what that behavior is that's causing that bad habit. So what's causing us to spend that money at the restaurant? What's causing us to just like randomly choosing to go out for no particular reason, just because we're lazy and don't feel like cooking? So that's more specific to us. So you go ahead and write down, define what it is, the behavior that it is that you specifically want to change for your bad money habit. Step 3 in breaking your bad money habits is to identify the trigger. So what is triggering you to make you do that specific bad habit in your life? Going back to my life and my wife's life, what is triggering us to just say, let's just go to a restaurant and go spend whatever kind of money we want to because it doesn't matter? Our triggering factor is just waiting till the last second to decide what we're gonna be eating for dinner. Because when we wait till that last second, we literally look for just the easiest thing. And that's typically, I'm tired. Let's just go ahead and go to a restaurant. Let's just go pick up food. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And it always ends up in just excessive spending. So what is your trigger? Write that down. Step 4, dealing with your triggers. So now that we've already identified what the triggers are, we need to come up with a plan on how we plan on dealing with the triggers when they arrive. So to be specific to my bad money habit and my wife's bad money habit about eating out too often and spending too much, how are we going to solve for that? Well, one way we can deal with that trigger is by planning our meals out for the week. So say if we were to spend Sunday night just kind of planning out what we're gonna be doing for the week and what we're gonna be eating and maybe even meal prepping, throughout the process and throughout the week, what's gonna happen is we might feel really tired, but guess what? We'd be like, you know what? Actually, we've already planned this out. We went grocery shopping. Let's just go ahead and stick with this plan. So that's step 4, dealing with your triggers. How are you gonna deal with them? Spend some time on this, write it down. Let's get on to the next step. Step number 5, develop a substitute plan. So now that we have identified the triggers, we know how to deal with the triggers, developing a substitute plan. See, we don't want to just necessarily get rid of a bad habit. What we want to do is we want to find a substitute, the transition from just cutting it out, like a little bit simpler of a process. So how can I specifically eat out less with my wife and spend less money? Well, our substitute plan is, instead of going to the restaurant with our credit cards and just saying whatever, let's go ahead and just bring our IDs, because if we get drinks, and then a specific amount of cash that we budgeted for when we go out. It's gonna force us when we're at the restaurant to stay within a framework of how much we're willing to spend, and we plan that ahead of time. So go ahead and take a moment to write down your substitute plan for breaking that bad habit. Step number 6 is to change the larger pattern. What is the overarching thing that's going on in your life that's causing these bad behaviors and creating these bad habits in your life? Back to me and my wife specifically about eating out too frequently and spending too much money. What it really comes down to, the overarching thing, is our lack of planning our meals throughout the week. So yes, if we were to just plan out our meals, that still might not be enough, but what will really help us stay focused is potentially meal prepping. So, I mean, we love using this thing called the air fryer. I don't know if you've ever had one, but it's freaking amazing. So if we were to just say, hey, like, let's go ahead and make bags of vegetables and potatoes, and we'll just put them in Ziploc containers, season them, and then it's a lot simpler when we come home or when we want to cook. It's already pre-made for the week, so we just have to dump it in the air fryer or put it in the oven, and then it's set, it's good to go. By having this planned out, it's gonna help change the overarching patterns that are going on in our life that cause us to spend so frequently at restaurants and so much. So that's number 6. What is your larger pattern that you can go ahead and change? Step number 7 is to use prompts. What is a prompt? Well, a prompt is just a reminder. It's something to keep you focused and on track. What me and my wife are going to be doing is, when we plan out our meals throughout the week and we meal prep, now we're gonna go ahead and put that into the calendar to remind us daily what it is that we plan on eating. So when we get home tired and we just feel like going out, we already get notified, bing, from our calendars saying, hey, you're eating spaghetti squash and tuna casserole. I don't know, whatever we're gonna be eating, it's gonna pop up and remind us, and it's just gonna take that kind of load off of our back, so we don't need to think about anything because we already put our thinking caps on at the beginning of the week. Number 8 is get support. So my wife has to hold me accountable and I have to hold her accountable. We are that support system. Now, if you don't have a significant other, try using a friend or a family member that will really help you stay focused on your goals and not let you break away from them. Number 9, reward yourself. Ah, yes, rewarding yourself. That is the best. During this process of breaking your bad money habits, there's gonna come a time where you're gonna be like, why am I even bothering doing this? Let's just do the easy thing. So it's important to add in small rewards throughout the process of this, so you have something to look forward to. I don't wanna just cut out eating out at restaurants altogether. We love eating out and we love trying new restaurants. Maybe the reward to ourselves is every other month we can go on a mega date where we can kind of just splurge and not worry about the money and go have a really good time. Now, that means we'd have something good to look forward to later on. It'll help us stay on track and then reward ourselves when that moment comes. So go ahead and write down what reward you would like to give yourself for staying on the right track. All right, guys, those are the 9 steps, but I'd like to close this by letting you know that this right here, breaking bad money habits, it's a long process. It's gonna require persistence and it's gonna require patience. If your bad money habit is really, really affecting your life, my last piece of advice would be to seek help from a professional that can really get you on the right track. So, hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, wherever you are at. If this kind of content you do like, hit that subscribe button, smash that like. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It's always appreciated. Have a wonderful